Hi, welcome back to Studio 33. Today we're going to be doing a 150mm by 150mm tile to make a trivet. And once again, tiles are a great way of practicing all the various different techniques. That's how I've mostly learnt is I've done a lot of canvases, but I've also done a lot of tiles. And they become useful gifts and great ways to learn. If it doesn't work out, you can scrape the paint off into a cup and use that paint on the next piece that you're doing. If you cover it with say some alfoil, it'll last for a few days, and that way you can just use that again, so it's not wasted. So today, that's what we're going to be doing. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you down on the table shortly. Okay, welcome back. So as I was saying, today we're doing a 150mm by 150mm white tile. You can pick these tiles up in Australia from Bunnings, I think, for about $1 each. So they're quite inexpensive, really. Make a great gift when you make a trivet. And this one is a gloss finish, but you can use a matte finish as long as it's smooth. Now the way I prep these, which I forgot to tell you before, is I just use some isopropyl alcohol, piece of paper towel, put a squirt of the alcohol on the paper towel, and just literally wipe over. That's it. You don't gesso, nothing. All you do is put your paint straight on there, and it sticks and stays. It's literally as simple as that. So today I'm going to do a bloom on here. I'm going to use a white base, which will be the Eraldo white with Floetrol. And the colours that I'm using are the Eraldo magenta with pearl added to it. I'm going to be using the ultraviolet by Global. And for something completely different, Mont Marte pouring paint gold. We're going to also use Eraldo, this one's called Rose, which is a beautiful pink colour, and Global Warm Blue. The order I'm going to put those in, I'm going to put the warm blue to the bottom. Then I'm going to have the pink, the magenta. Then the ultraviolet, it's a semi-transparent. And then I'm going to put rose at the end there, even though it's an opaque, because I really want it to play a major part. And because I'm putting it on last, it should show up most. And also because it's opaque. Okay, so here we go. I'll just lay down the coat of base, which is just mixed up to the normal consistency that I use, which is just when you're drizzling it into your cup, it just leaves a small mound for a second and then disappears. Now I quite like just using one of these little offset trowels. And that makes it easier just to spread your paint. And spread the paint all over. And I try and make sure I've got my edges covered, so that when paint runs over the side, it's got something already there to help it flow over. And you know your edges are already covered. Okay, right. And if you just wipe your tools off with a paper towel straight away, there's really no need to wash too much up at the end of it, which is good, because the washing up, let's face it, no one likes to have to do it. Well, maybe some people do, but I don't like to have to do it. And it's good, the less you have to do, the better. So one moment, I'm just going to get rid of my bubble. Now looking at that, I think I can see what looks like a bit of a, yes, bit of rubbish in there. Sometimes you get little lumps of paint when you've kept paint mixed up in a bottle. If you are worried about that, you can just get a piece of pantyhose and put it over the top of your bottle, put a rubber band around it, and just pour your paint through that, and that will stop you from getting any little lumps and bumps. Okay, I can't see anything else there. All looks good. Okay, here we go. So the warm blue. Followed by the magenta. Put a bit more of that on. Followed by my favourite gold. Ultraviolet. And the rose. I'm going to put a little bit more of the magenta on top of that. Don't ask me why, I just get these whims. You think, I'm just going to do that. I like that. That's what I mean. You can have all the colour theory in the world, but at the end of the day, go with your gut feeling of what you think is going to look nice. Right, now we're going to lay down some cell activator. Sort of spread it out a bit instead of having it in a big lump. Now I want to just put a little bit of green in the corners again. It'll probably go over the edge and be wasted, but I like to get a bit of green in there if I can. And this bloom, because it's a larger tile, it may not take up the whole tile. Again, just a little bit of cell activator on each of those. If you do spill any on there, you can just literally dab it off with your finger. Won't matter anyway, because we're going to be blowing the bloom out. So I'm just going to hit it with the heat gun, burst any bubbles, and now I'm just going to blow the leaves out. Oh, look at those lovely cells. Ooh. Close enough in there. Turning out great. That global black with the Australian Floetrol does make a great cell activator. As you can see, hopefully you can see that. Another thing I do when I'm doing my artwork is to take photos as I go. So I'll take a photo before I start of the colours I've used. I'll take photos as I go along and a photo of the finished product. So next week, the month after, the year after, you can go back through those photos and you can actually see what colours you used and you can basically do the same thing again if that's what you would like to do. So because you do forget, I look at things and I think, how did I do that? What colour was that? What did I do first? So by taking a series of photos, I can always tell what I've done, which is great. Okay, so now we are going to blow this out. and see what we get. Okay, well that's quite nice. It's beautiful lacing in there. And that magenta, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Some quite nice cell activity going in there, which is great. Okay, so now I'll get my trusty skewer and draw in the shapes of the flower, just to make it look more like a flower, really. So bring it in, grab a piece of paper, always wipe your skewer every time, otherwise you're going to muddy your paints. So I'm just looking for the line that looks most obvious to bring in. You usually end up having to go through a few cells, but try and go between the cells if you can. Right. Just draw a bit of shape into the leaves, which are running off the edge anyway. Okay, now I think I just need to balance that up a little bit because it's going more one direction than the other. So just slightly tilt it, not too much. Some great cells in there. Now I'll just give it a tiny spin. I don't want to spin it too much. Just to spread it out a little bit. You can either spin or not spin. Spinning it out, you often lose the shape of the flower. If you want to keep the shape of the flower, don't spin it too much or at all. Because you've only used the normal thickness of paint as a pillar on the base, you don't have to get rid of too much paint, so you won't lose too much. These cells here are just beautiful. Now you could do a little swirly bit in the middle, or sometimes I just like to even use a balloon and just do a little balloon kiss there. There's my balloon gone. Oh, it's down the other end of the table. Of course it is. Okay, so I've just got a balloon, which is a bit soft and squishy. And I'm just going to go straight in the middle there and see what happens. And wipe that off. And go back in again. That's nice. Right, that's pretty. Yep, I like that. Okay. Now I look like I've got a beautiful little fairy in the middle of my flower garden. Just tilt it slightly this way just to balance it up a bit more. Okay. Do I do anything else? No, I think I'll leave that one. Okay, so I'll bring you down for a close-up. Okay, so I'm not sure that I 100% love the composition, but you've got the idea. There's some really pretty cells in there. So that global black really does create some really wonderful cells. You can see there where a translucent paint has gone over the top of something else, and you can see through it. You can actually see through the paint to the bottom of the other colours, which is gorgeous. And there's our beautiful little balloon smash in the middle there. Okay. Oops. Let me know what you think, guys. As usual, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel, and also give me a thumbs up if you like what we've done today, and hopefully you've learned something. I always learn something every time I do a piece of art. So we'll see you back here in a couple of days' time. Thank you. Bye-bye.